the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
It's Tuesday, May 28th, 2019, and it's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and here with me in our Orlando studios on the ones and twos sitting in today, Clark Flippo.
Hey.
Hey, man. Over there on the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello.
From Gatorland, Florida, Eddie Big Hat Koffoltz.
Yes, hello. It's good to see you.
And from Nashville, Tennessee, author, speaker, podcaster, cowgirl extraordinaire, Annie F. Downs.
Good morning, gents.
Annie, little theater of the mind here. We can see you. Your hair looks fantastic today.
It does. It almost looks like you got a new tool to do your hair with.
Yeah. Is it one of those wand things that everybody's talking about?
Here's the thing. I've never had brothers, but I bet it felt like this.
Yeah.
I bet this is exactly what it felt like.
Because they all love you and respect you, but when you come out of the bathroom and you've got a new fancy hairdo on, we're going to say something.
Right.
By you never had brothers where they treat you like this. You mean kind, unprompted compliments? Then
that's exactly right. I just never got this.
Curious about your hair care products?
Yeah.
That's right.
You would have
Thank
been
you
very
all
blessed.
for noticing that I got a wand.
There you go.
It's really wow.
Now, what prompted the wand purchase, Annie F. Downs?
Perfect.
Well,
Thanks for going
Cameron
another round.
F. Strang. I have always wanted the beachy wave, and I kept trying to get it with a curling iron. It wasn't happening, and I started asking around, and people were telling me wand, and so I got a wand and have really done some practice on it.
So the summer, you wanted the beachy wave for the summer.
Yeah, I want a beachy wave for the summer, and so it is. We're working on it.
Did you debut this on Memorial Day yesterday?
Ooh, good question.
I debuted it on Saturday, actually.
Wow.
Memorial Day weekend, new look, new Annie.
Yeah, I brought it out for the old holiday weekend.
New season, new Annie.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. There's a new sheriff in town.
Summer
Her
is
name
here,
Annie
and
F.
so is my new wavy hair.
Are you using dry shampoo as well?
Yep.
That's a thing that people are into now.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I've never used dry shampoo, but I love the concept of it. I love anything that saves me, 90 seconds of rinsing shampoo out of my hair. I think it's a fantastic thing.
Jesse, it saves you the need to shower. You can skip the whole 10 minutes.
How do you not shower in a day? Like, don't you
can't still shower. It just, Jesse, your 12 minutes or 12 seconds of doing your hair went to wash it is not 12 seconds for me. Because I have to wash it and condition it and dry it.
That's why I said
25 minutes.
I said I love the idea of leave-in shampoo. Like if they had that when I was like,
it's not leave-in shampoo. You understand? You don't do it. Does your wife not use dry shampoo?
What is? Okay, explain dry shampoo.
He does not understand what it is.
I thought the way you're describing
you tell us
it.
what you think it is. Yeah, go ahead and describe it.
For some reason, I was thinking it was some sort of shampoo that you squirt out of the bottle, like the regular kind of. And you just wipe it in and it dries in there. That's what I thought it was.
No.
What is dry shampoo then? That's
powder.
powder?
Some people use like cornstarch.
Yeah, it's like a hairspray-ish type thing. It's in an aerosol can, Jesse, and you can put that in your hair. Like if you missed your shower that morning or you didn't wash your hair, you put it in there and it like zhuzhes it up. It sucks up the grease. It gives you some volume, and you can be in and out without having to do your hair.
Gosh, I'm really enjoying y'all describing dry shampoo.
That would have been a game changer for me in college. Like I would have been able to get 4 extra minutes of sleep every day had I known about that existing. So I'm quite impressed,
Now,
Annie.
I just do want to say it is the same as like taking that. What is that stuff that Febreze? Spraying that all over, like, let's say, like dog pee on the carpet and saying that you've cleaned the carpet. It's not actually shampoo. It's just lipstick, right?
No, it does actually deal with the grease and that part of your hair. So,
no, but where does it go then? It's all staying out there.
It absorbs it.
So then it's
and then you just shake it in. It's just like if you put baby powder in your hair when you were a kid to deal with, did y'all do that as kids? To deal with it, baby powder is the original dry shampoo.
No, baby powder in your hair only looks good when you want to do fake gray hair, and then it's hilarious.
Yeah, when you want to do an all day, the 100th day
Anderson
of school.
Cooper hair.
Yeah.
Check it out, guys. Silver fox in it.
So Yeah.
Good thing about my hair is that I am months away from having enough hair or a lack of hair that I don't really even have to like shampoo it. It just becomes part of the whole body wash. You know what I'm saying?
Months away. What's happening in a few months with your hair?
I mean, just getting older. I feel like it's clicking out of here pretty quickly. At the rate it's going, I think I've got under 12 months before I really just don't have to consider hair as part of the whole package anymore.
This taps into the big debate that was lighting up the internet this past week.
That's what I was about to say too, Jesse.
It's very ironic that we're talking about how sanitary it is to put powder in your hair and calling it clean. Because you guys saw the big debate that burned up the internet last week, which was,
yes,
do you wash your legs in the shower? Yes or no? The Twitter poll that had like thousands of responses, I think it was like 80-20 yes, but I think a lot of those people were just saying yes, but are really in the camp where they just let the soap run down the legs.
Wait. The question was, do you actively lean down and wash your legs, or do you just let it be like the runoff?
And your feet. It was a double question.
Or is it more like a car wash? If the soap rinses over it and you rinse it off, are the legs then clean?
No.
Wow.
No. Without abrasion, there is no cleanliness. You must have abrasion in order.
Without abrasion, there is no cleanliness. What a line.
If I ever get merch made, that's what I'd like.
Cameron, where do you stand on this debate?
I mean, it's no question you have to bend over and take care of the skin. You gotta wipe. You gotta wipe. You gotta rub. You gotta
shake that dirt off there.
I think you misunderstood the question.
Yeah. I think we need to rephrase the question for Cameron.
Yeah, but just because shampoo and soap from your arms is going down over your legs, it doesn't mean like it's getting the dirt off. Sometimes it's just flying above it.
Well, here's the thing. I wear pants most days, so it's not like I'm like, sloshing through.
Are you advocating?
Yeah, but you wear shirts most days and you still clean your upper body.
Yeah.
Are you advocating, Jesse, for the lack of just...
All I'm saying is that someone
leg and feet cleaning.
I am not in that camp, but I understand the people who are there. I don't have any issue with them. I'm not gonna ostracize them. I think I can see why they would consider that clean. I mean, it's a lot of soap running down there, and it's a lot of water.
And the difference for women is that we shave our legs, most of us. Yeah. And so you are in active communication with your legs far more on a regular basis as a woman than a dude.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
I had this entire conversation with myself, thinking about talking to y'all while shaving my legs.
I've heard people don't use washcloths. They just use a bar of soap.
I just use a bar of soap.
Yeah, I've been guilty of that.
There's no abrasion. We're back to the beginning.
There's contact with an object.
Yeah, but the soap is pretty smooth. You just slip on soap. You don't slip on a washcloth.
For some reason, Eddie, this isn't the first time he's had this insane rant.
You're assuming I don't have exfoliating soap with like little
micro beads.
Well, I guess that's different. If you've got those little sand pieces or whatever.
Even if not.
That's abrasion. That's what mine has. Mine has some abrasion built in.
But Eddie's acting as if we have the skin of reptiles and we need to like shed it regularly. Like old snakes. Like it doesn't work like that, Eddie. Like I don't need to take sandpaper to my body to make it clean.
Although Jesse, watching that LeBron James show, The Shop on HBO, where like the guys are all talking. Pharrell was on this last one. I told you about this, and Travis Scott asked him in the outtake. Grew up like he's like Travis Scott said to Pharrell, "Man, I was like 12 years old thinking." How does Pharrell look so young? And like, how do you still look so young? He said, when I was 12, I researched it online and found out that you just do cold water to the face every day. And and Pharrell goes, well, yeah, cold water to the face, but you got to exfoliate, man. And so like, that was his secret is you got to exfoliate. So maybe Eddie's onto something that like look young and smooth like Pharrell, exfoliation is the key.
There has got to be some at least dead skin and also just kind of like surface level dirt abrasion. You cannot smooth over it.
Eddie takes probably 3-hour showers, and this conversation is getting ridiculous. Like, it makes no sense. We need to get a real scientist on here and ask
different
him
grits
about,
of sandpaper.
Ask him or her about this.
My determination is, how gross was I yesterday? Like, if it's a normal office day, I'm soap and water and I'm good. If I'm like working in the yard like this weekend, we're scrubbing. We're getting in there with the washcloth.
Can we talk for just a second? I know we don't like to throw back very much, but you had some men who were fishing right at the edge of your dock. Yeah. Is this still a thing?
What's their level of cleanliness?
Very low. They appeared on Saturday, and I went out there again with the speaker and walked it all the way to the dock, which was about 10 feet from them. And then I played techno music, and they didn't come back all holiday weekend. So,
oh wow! So you've done it.
So you've realized they have an aversion to like EDM.
Yeah, EDM and quietly fishing in my backyard do not go well. So hopefully message was sent and received. We'll see.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a good holiday weekend? Did you have fun Memorial Day? I assume, Annie, you had some sort of like fireworks extravaganza with friends at the lake or something.
I didn't, because I was traveling. I had a great weekend. I traveled and spoke at a church on Sunday morning. But I played with my friends. I had a good time. But no, we didn't have fireworks, which is really hard for me.
That is
fireworks is not
sad.
for Memorial Day.
I know, but
fireworks are good for any.
Kick it off the summer. There's never a wrong.
Exactly
if you're gathering friends and there's a grill, like shoot some fireworks off. Why not?
Man, there is just something great about summer. I know fireworks are always appropriate in the summer, so we will get them out. But we did not this weekend. Did y'all shoot off fireworks?
No, I
heard fireworks going. I had my fireworks fill in Montana a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
I had Eddie's worst possible weekend, which meant hanging out with neighbors and a little cul-de-sac cookout. Eddie likes to live in his ivory tower there in Gainesville, staring down on the people who are unfortunate enough to have purchased a home in close proximity to him.
Did you know these people, or were you just meeting them at the grill?
No, I knew them. I actually know my neighbors, Eddie, and we're quite close. And,
No, that's the thing. Like, we're in Montana, and Jesse was getting he's on a text string with the guys who happen to live on his street saying, "Hey, we're gonna go out to the pub on Friday," and they all hang out. I don't get it. I don't
know why that's so weird because I've mentioned that to you guys before, in casual conversation, and you guys think that's so weird. Annie, do you think this is weird?
I love it. No, I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, we moved close to one of our closest friends, so I also like one of my neighbors, and they do that stuff too, where they bring people from the neighborhood over, and it's all right. The problem is if it backfires and you're like, ugh. Now I got to know this super crazy weirdo, and I can't escape the party because they live right there.
You're right, Eddie. It's better to assume the worst case scenario and just avoid meeting people altogether.
I agree.
I think every person I meet, like when I'm at church, or they turn around to greet the person around you. You know what? I'm hands are going in the pocket. I'm getting on my phone acting like I'm texting because all of these churchgoers could be crazy people.
Doing
I don't want to know.
Hello at church is no different than just waving hello to the neighbor as they walk their dog or something. That's fine. We're not going to lunch with the random person who sat behind me at church. You know what I'm saying?
Do you exchange names with them?
No, usually it's just good morning. Morning.
That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. That's the whole point. You're supposed to greet them with your name.
Big update behind the scenes. Clark has been knocked off. And Chandler has appeared.
Chandler.
There you go. So,
Chandler, where have you been this morning? Just a real simple question.
We just started on time, and then he showed up.
Yeah, traffic was worse than usual. So
just to be clear for everyone listening, we start at 10 a.m. Eastern, which is pretty deep into your typical workday. But I'm sorry traffic was bad, Chandler.
Chandler, I'm just glad you're here, pal.
Yeah, thanks. We're glad you made it.
We have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, Louie Giglio joins us. He has a new book coming out called Not Forsaken, and we talked to him about that. So stay tuned, Louie Giglio. All right, well, moving the show along, it is time for
Slices.
All right, what do you have, Jesse?
Guess what? it's a twofer. And the first one is an update on one of my favorite organizations, the International Flat Earth Association.
I thought it was Flat Earth Society. It's association.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is actually this is put on by the Flat Earth International Conference. So it's this big international conference that's coming up in 2020, and they have speakers and celebrities from the Flat Earth world. I don't know if you guys saw that Netflix documentary that's going around about the Flat Earth Society, but the people in that documentary are going to be there. All the popular Flat Earth podcasters are going to be there, but they've also announced a very significant new initiative that will be taking place at the same time as the Flat Earth International Conference, and that is a cruise to the edge of the earth, literally. They're calling this one of the most significant moments in the movement's history.
Oh, it's like what's that Jim Carrey movie where he just hits the end of the wall? The Truman Show. They think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just the boat kind of bumps into a cloud.
Well, that's right. So, according to the Flat Earth Society, at the edge of the world, which is kind of shaped like a frisbee, like a disc, are giant ice walls that hold the oceans in. And according to them, no one that isn't involved in the conspiracy of perpetuating the myth of the globe has ever been to the ice wall. So this will be a chance to once and for all prove to the world that there is an ice wall at the edge of what we know as planet Earth. So, I like it because this could potentially be the end of the Flat Earth movement. Like, it's a bittersweet thing because obviously they're not going to get to the ice wall, but I like that they're putting their money where their mouth is. The only other guy we've seen do this is that dude who shot the steam-powered rocket up in the air and tried to get a good look at things and lived to tell about it.
I did love him. I really respected his moves.
Yeah, he was planning on running for mayor of California. Unfortunately, his experiment was inconclusive.
Mayor of California, you say?
No, yeah. He's gonna reorganize the whole government system. We're gonna have mayors at the state.
Mayor of California.
That makes sense.
Jesse, do you know? Give us some details. What is the path that they're taking to supposedly reach the edge? Where are they going? They're going east.
Yeah, I don't know that they've determined. They haven't given a ton of details, but I believe the conference is out in California. So I assume from California that if you just start heading west in a cruise ship, you'll eventually hit the ice wall.
So how long are they saying the cruise will be?
They haven't determined how long they're going to be out to sea for. But I don't think
they have to have fuel and supplies and food. I mean, they have to have some sort of itinerary.
Yeah. Yeah, they haven't released all of the details yet in terms of their. But here's the thing: these are people who are getting in a boat to go to the ice wall at the edge of the world. It wouldn't shock me if they didn't have all the details worked out. They've neglected a few things along the way. That wouldn't be completely shocking to me.
I'm just trying to think because the transatlantic ones where they reposition the ships from the Mediterranean to the Caribbean, those are 10 days. So if you're going west. By the time you hit Asia, you're talking 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then
they're
you got to come
committed
back
to seeing the edge of the world.
It's what
I like is there's going to be somewhere in the middle of week 6 or whatever when they realize, oh my gosh, we have totally gone to the other side of the planet. And just in the middle of the night, they're going to turn the boat around and everybody's going to wake up and they're like, yep, it was in the middle of the night last night and we totally hit an ice wall and we turned around and we did it, you guys. Earth is still flat.
We took pictures. Look here on the screens.
Yep, we did it. Look, it's all,
we can
we're
show
heading
you
back.
all the pictures.
I'll say this. It was cold out there. It's cold by that ice wall, but
it was wild.
Can't believe it.
I can't tell. I still can't tell if the people who go on the cruise are self-aware, they're doing it for the irony, or if they are actual drank the Kool-Aid believers of this conspiracy,
Yeah.
Is everybody in on it? You know what I mean?
Right.
We're okay, wink, wink. We're the flat Earth cruise,
No, it's gotten beyond that. It's legitimately people who believe this. I mean, there are people who have staked their whole life on exposing this conspiracy.
I just can't. I can't wrap my head around it.
Well, and if you're a flat earther and you listen to this podcast, I would urge you to heavily engage with us on social media, because nothing would make me happier than to watch you light up all relevant social media with your conspiracy theories.
I would love that too. And I
just think it's so interesting. I always get yelled at when I say that I think it's interesting by the internet, but I just think it's fascinating.
Like what part of it do you think that's fascinating? That people actually believe this?
Yeah. That there are people who are smart, kind, good citizens who are very convinced this is true. Yeah. And I just think that is fascinating.
I know. But I will say this. I would rather go on this cruise than so many other themed cruises. Like so many of those themed cruises just seem, and this actually will lead into my other slice. Like if you could say,
a twofer.
If you could say, I could either go on the DC Talk reunion cruise or the Flat Earth cruise. It's not even close. It is not even close.
I 100% am going on the Flat Earth cruise because I need to see inside what is happening. Like, do they all get together and just have a good laugh about this when they know no one's watching? Or what
are they laughing at? Like everyone's laughing at them. Like
they all just put up a picture of the globe taken from like an Apollo space mission. They're like, we know it's around. This is just a hilarious joke that we've all just bought into. Like, or did they really? I'm curious, like, what evidence are they presenting to each other? What does the slideshow talk look like? What are they doing, behind closed doors? I'd want to go to this.
Here's the thing. If you're asking me to spend multiple weeks with people who believe in the flat earth so much that they'll take a cruise to a mythical ice wall, or people that paid several $1,000s to watch DC Talk play again, I'm choosing the flat earthers. Like, if that's how you're measuring this, would you rather hang out with these type of people or these type of people? Give me flat earthers all day.
Yeah, I'm sitting by the pool drinking a Mai Tai with Meta World Peace every single day. Like, that's an interesting cruise.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that actually, speaking of DC Talk, that leads me into slice number 2. And I had to do both of these because they're both too funny not to talk about. Okay, I'm going to name 4 bands. Eddie, let me know what you think they have in common.
I know what they have in common. Go.
I'm really excited about this.
Jars of Clay, DC Talk, Petra, Whiteheart. What do those 4 bands have in common?
I mean, they're all I would say the soundtrack of my youth and middle adulthood.
Cameron, Annie, what are your thoughts about those 4 CCM legends?
Well, I know the news, so
I sadly know as well because I follow Relevant on Twitter.
And
there's
Dan
been a new development this morning.
Dan Hasseltine from Jars was not happy about our coverage this morning on Twitter.
Really?
So here's what happened. They announced.
Hold on, Cameron. Can you give us a tiny bit more? Just a tiny bit more.
That's part of the slice. Don't you worry. It's coming. It's coming.
Please.
So
I love that junk.
I woke up to a lot of mentions this morning. So
I saw that too. Yeah. I saw it too. And I wanted to talk about this because we have found ourselves in a beef with Jars of Clay. That's the real slice here.
Why? I love those guys.
That's okay. I'm going to explain that. So Jars of Clay, DC Talk, Petra, Whiteheart, members of each of those bands have announced that they are forming a Christian rock supergroup. Okay. It's Kevin Mack. Notably, I feel like most notably for our readers, Kevin Max and Daniel Hasseltine from DC Talk and Jars of Clay are involved.
I love Dan. Yeah.
And so they're going to start this Christian rock supergroup and play covers of the songs that they made famous. Sure, no big deal. So we obviously we were going to do a write-up about this and tweeted about it. Now, let me ask you guys if you think this is particularly mean-spirited. Because Annie, if you had to put Jars of Clay into a genre distinction, what would you say the type of music that Jars of Clay makes is?
You're asking me to get in the middle of a fight that I don't want to be in the middle of.
You're involved. I'm sorry. I'm dragging you into this.
You have to make a decision.
They make Christian rock music.
Okay, here's what I over the weekend I was promoting this story and I said like DC Talk, Petra, Whiteheart, and the CCM Superstar reunion tour is happening. Prepare to get rocked softly. Like
soft rock.
I don't feel.
Hey, I still go to the grocery store and hear Jars of Clay music. I mean, it's perfect soft rock. It's great.
If you're like, hey, the genre of music of soft rock, name one band that personifies that, I'd be like, probably Jars of Clay. They rock pretty softly.
Flood was a banger, but after that, they kind of chilled out a little bit.
But I mean, they may consider themselves more like Americana or something like that. But it's definitely like in the rockish. I mean, but like If I Left the Zoo sounded like some sort of like Beatles thing.
There's pop rock, maybe? Is it like pop rock? I mean, it's pop. I mean,
it is.
But for some reason, Dan Hasseltine, the front man for Jars of Clay, was not happy about being told that he rocks people softly. He took to Twitter and he called us a quote unquote edgy publication and accused us of getting funding from colleges that don't allow students to dance. Like, in his mind, we are being underwritten by the city council from Footloose. Like,
so this isn't a slice. You just want to have a fight on the podcast.
No, hold on.
So let's
that
break
you
down
don't have the other side of the fight on the podcast to fight.
No, that's not how this works, Annie.
There are schools
on Twitter.
There are schools that take out advertising
twice as hard, like our president has taught us. I'm sorry. What did you say, Eddie?
There are schools though that advertise, I'm sure, within the pages or whatever website of Relevant that may have strict rules for their kids, but it's not like we are out looking like we're like, okay, let's scour the world for schools that don't let kids dance, and then those are our only sponsors.
Listen, I will say this, and I don't want to speak for Relevant or the ad sales team, but if there are any schools that forbid dancing that would like to fund us entirely, we are ready for your phone calls.
Come on,
like, we will hear you out.
We'll take it all.
No dancing.
We're good.
Yeah, exactly. Please give us a call. But no, we have found ourselves in the beef of a lifetime with those CCM supergroup. I woke up to this morning just like you, Cameron, shocked and kind of excited to find ourselves in this type of beef.
I like Dan Hasseltine. He's great.
Yeah, he's great.
I've known him professionally for the whole run of Relevant. I've always liked him. I like their music. They were always kind of like the good Christian group in my mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
they played at Relevant Studio like within 5 years ago. They're not like they're.
Jars
Kevin did. Kevin played in the Relevant Studio.
Kevin did. Yeah. Not Jars. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Dan. I like Dan Hasseltine too. I think he's one of the softest rockers the world has ever seen.
My gosh.
And
why are you doubling down, man? I'm trying to smooth it out.
No, this is personal. This is personal.
So what's your slice?
This is one of the weirder parts about you, Jesse, is how much you love this kind of stuff. That's why I'm dying to know your Enneagram
I don't
number.
know why he thinks soft rock is an insult. There's a lot of great soft rock bands. Cameron, Eddie, you guys seem like you're neutral in this. Annie, you seem very against this feud.
Annie seems the most upset.
Well, as an Enneagram 7, I don't like pain, so I don't want to fight.
I love pain. I love conflict. I love going blow to blow with a guy like Dan. But he is like, he's written for us a lot during the past Dan Hasseltine,
Yeah. Well, he likes to write for those quote unquote edgy publications that get their funding from universities that don't allow dancing. Yeah.
September 2013.
That's pretty good. I'll give him that. That's a pretty funny thing to say.
Pretty funny. Yeah. Pretty good.
September 2013, they played in Relevant Studios, and you can hear how hard they rocked.
Really?
I mean, real hard. Yeah. I know, because they met my kids, and I just looked it up.
Yeah. Jars of Clay
played in the Relevant Studios September 2013.
Oh.
And it was the hardest rock show you've ever seen. That's why we had to move out of the old building. They just burned the place down.
Wow.
Yeah. So, well done, guys.
Just left it in a pile of rubble after just being rocked. Faces rocked right off the stage.
Oh, yeah.
All right. What do you have, Eddie?
Well, people. I mean, I could have stayed on that forever, but there was an interesting survey that came out that is very quintessential Bummertown survey, but I'm going to just do this because I'm a 4 and I'm okay living in this kind of stuff. So it was a kind of an organization that focuses on counseling and counseling issues. And they did a survey of like 2,000 adults, and they asked them a real simple question. They asked them if they have someone who they can turn to confide in. And I think generally would say like, oh yeah, I bet most people have someone to confide in. But it found out that a quarter of people said that they do not have anyone that they can confide in.
Not one person.
And to share their true feelings. And 90% of those surveyed said that they downplay their emotions, even to those that they are confiding in, so that they don't worry them. So I was curious about this because it's really saying, and there are a lot more stats, and we can get to it throughout the slice if we want to, but just generally and initially, how does that strike you? 1 in 4 people to say that there is.
That means one of us sitting here would say they have no one.
No one to confide in. Yeah. Well, I have someone, but it's very hard to do. I mean, I get it. I could see it would be easier to have no one. But do you all have someone, like a person who, even if it's ugly, gross truth about you, you can confide in them?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
1 in 4.
Wonder, so
1
Eddie,
in 4
this,
seems like a shockingly high number.
Right?
Yeah. Is this a faith based thing, Eddie, or is it humans in general?
Not humans in general.
I would be so interested if Barna took this and asked the same thing to faith people to see if it was, if the ratio is different. Because I feel like built into our belief system is confess your sins one to another, right? Which doesn't always feel fun and doesn't mean everybody does it. But there is this like one of the central tenets of community in the Christian space is telling the truth to each other.
Yeah. And even baked into my, 90s Christian experience was like that accountability partner thing, which I still think is valid and great. But at the time in college, like you had to have one of those people. So I got used to like sitting down with Peter and just letting it all out and seeing how it worked. Like, I think there's a sense that we're able to do that. But an interesting thing also, it said participants between the ages of 18 and 30 are much more withdrawn than participants who are 50 years and older when discussing anxiety topics. So in other words, younger, they had a harder time talking about these anxiety provoking topics. People that were 50 and up seemed to be able to open up more. Again, another shocking finding. I was like, really?
I wonder if the social media component has something to do with that, where like they're used to sharing a persona of themselves, a version of reality, not the true self. That's just like kind of bred into.
Yeah. Let's say like someone really hurt you by accusing you of rocking softly. Right. And do you just blow off that steam online, or do you give somebody a call? Because that's a dig.
Right. Yeah. Well,
I do think,
but no, for real.
No, for real. That wasn't an insult. They do rock softly. There's nothing insulting. No, but Annie, I think to your point, it is interesting how like Christians would respond to that specifically, because I do feel like it's either one of two ways. Like you said, Eddie, a lot of Christians are conditioned to have some sort of like accountability partner or someone in their life that they feel is in some sort of like mentor capacity that they can talk about things to. But I also feel like there's people on the other side of it who like feel like there's a real pressure to keep maybe their self-image or their reputation, and might be hesitant to confide in personal flaws to other people because they don't want to be seen as someone who has weakness. Or I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I think there's probably some people within the church that they also suffer from that side of it too, that they don't want to seem flawed and vulnerable to their fellow Christians,
Yeah.
That is such a part of leadership in the church, is who can you actually tell? Who is it actually safe to tell what you're struggling with that won't cost you your job?
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. No kidding. And I think
I've always wondered that about pastors. Like, how can a pastor who might be struggling with something like actually truthfully confide that in somebody?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I don't, unless it's another pastor or someone from another church. People will disagree about this, but I think it is extremely hard to set up systems of that level of accountability within people in your own congregation, even people that are on your own like board, because everybody has something to gain or lose by your health or, unhealth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes you appreciate the exercise, like in Catholicism, like the exercise of like confessions, where it's just part of the faith experience is being able to have an avenue to confess your sins where it's not like awkward. Like, hey, if I got to just call my pastor and be like, hey, I need to tell you about something I slipped up in. Like there's still like a degree of awkwardness there where, you can see why something like having organized confessions would be a valuable spiritual exercise,
Yeah. And I just think it's also up to the leaders, the male and female leaders, to have a system in place with people in your church or with people in your life where you just have to start saying the things to people and having the conversations of, is this, can I say this to you and it be safe? Or, it doesn't feel like a one-stop solution, but it certainly feels like if we want to protect our leaders from being just eaten alive by secret sin, we have to give them a place to talk about it that does not cost them their jobs. You know, the whole cancel culture idea, right? I mean, we just can't automatically cancel someone because they make a bad decision or have sin in their life. We've got to give them space, or their secret sin will kill them and their congregation in a lot of situations.
But at what point, I mean, I would assume counseling would be a place like that, you know, like it's, you can confide in a counselor, even if you're a pastor, about things, and it wouldn't leave that room. But at what point, I mean, if it's like ongoing or it's enlarging, you know, it's like, okay, cool, I'm confessing it. But like, no, you're actually not fit for ministry right now. You need to step down for a season. Yeah. But there's no accountability. I mean, it's almost like you're enabling the person to stay in their position with.
Yeah. And then it's do they have the courage to go back to their people and say what is true? You know? Well, you got to care about your soul more than you care about your career. We've talked about this before.
Somebody who's deeply unhealthy probably doesn't. You know, they want to protect what they have because they're afraid of losing it all. And so,
and it's attached to their livelihood too.
That's right.
Like a lot of pastors, if they weren't in ministry, might not know, you know, kind of right off the top of their head what they would even do to support themselves and their families. And so like they you know, it's incentivized secrecy to some degree.
So that's one of the joys of while we're here talking to pastors who are 28 and pastors who are getting there. Start right now telling people the truth before you have deep secret sin that you don't know how to get out of, that risks how your family will be provided for. Start right now when there is issues, but not where it could go if you keep it secret into your 30s.
Yeah. And I think that also applies to people that are not in church leadership. There is always a feeling that we've got something to lose if we are honest about the real stuff in our life. We're going to lose the relationship or our well-being or any other number of things. I think that the discipline and the necessity for openness is pretty critical. And this study saying that this study almost backs that up, like how hard it is and how few people are able to actually do it. It's pretty shocking. Additionally, they said that 3 in 4 people said that they were hesitant to go to therapy because of the stigma around it. And, and people were saying it's too expensive and I don't have time, which I understand too. But I mean, it really is. The survey was shocking to me because I just guess I live around a group of people and chat with you all, and everybody's pretty open. And we all have talked about, we've gone to therapy a million times, and that's just part of the vernacular, but that does not seem to be the norm outside of the circles that I travel in.
I was watching an interview. I guess he kind of made the rounds for a book or something. Howard Stern was doing interviews, and I saw one he did on CNN, and he was like talking to the interviewer about how he feels like he's known Donald Trump for decades. And he said, I just really feel like he would benefit from going to psychoanalysis. And he just kept using,
I saw the same thing.
He kept using the phrase psychoanalysis, and like, instead of just therapy or counseling, like it almost makes it sound scary and medical. And you know what I mean? It's just like they're going to put wires on you. And like, I don't know. It's just like, that's, I think, the common perception of counseling. Like it's like psychoanalysis, or you're going to see a shrink, or it's like it's scary and weird, but
but I think to a degree, like that's why I've seen like some people have like an aversion to something like the Enneagram, because it has this association of like, oh, it's this kind of weird numeric thing that is applying some sort of method that to identify personality types that they don't really understand, when in reality it's not overly medical, or it's not, just some kind of ancient thing. And it can actually help you understand yourself better and can be practically applied. I think when you look at things that like the Enneagram or the idea of like psychoanalysis, it can be intimidating for people. But, when the reality is like, look, there are real tools and real professionals out there that can help you understand yourself better and help you understand maybe why you have a propensity to do certain things. And here's ways that you can kind of correct that behavior.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. What do you have, Annie?
Well, equally as important, not at all. You guys, I think you know this about me, but I moved into a new house a few months ago, and something that a couple of my friends have kind of been bugging me about is getting an alarm system and having some sort of because I'm gone so much and blah, blah, blah. Especially some of the dudes that are in my life are like, we need you to get an alarm system. We would feel better about your life if you had an alarm system in your house. And yeah, in a very nice way. I mean, they're just some men who care for me and feel protective of me.
Annie, as someone who also cares about your well-being, may I suggest if you're not into the security system idea, at the least you could do is booby trap your house like Kevin McAllister every time you got in town. I feel like that's obvious, but for some reason I feel like you need someone to tell you that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jesse.
The paint can on the string that'll swing down the stairs when the front door opens. Yeah.
Ready to, give concussions to anyone who dare.
Underneath every window, Annie, before you leave town. Just
broken Christmas ornaments.
Y'all's brotherly concern today is just extreme, and I'm grateful. So I found this story, and I thought this was great because I want y'all to figure you're getting to solve a crime, pretty much, is what you're about to get to do, which I know is kind of a dream of Jesse's particularly. Listen, a guy in Boston got home a couple of weeks ago, and he'd gone to go pick up his son from school. And when he came home, their front door was unlocked and they had left it locked, and he'd only been gone for an hour or something. And when they went inside, nothing had been stolen, but the house had been cleaned. Did y'all see this story?
What?
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it a cute, a friend trying to do a nice welcome home present, or did someone break in and clean?
Yeah.
He doesn't know. His son's room had been cleaned. All the rugs were vacuumed. Everything was put away. And none of the neighbors saw anything. No one saw anybody go in, none of that. But it was he was so sure that there were where the toilet paper rolls are. Someone had created those little toilet paper roses. Literally they cleaned his whole house and then left. And that is, what do you guys think happened?
For some reason.
And can that person be the person who breaks into my house?
For some reason, I don't know why, but when you're describing this slice and you're talking about everything that had been cleaned in the house, vacuuming, the kid's bedroom straightened up, all of that seems this is a charming little story. I don't know why, but when you move to the fact that there were toilet paper roses, this became absolutely chilling for some reason.
And here's the other chilling part. They didn't touch the kitchen. They didn't clean the kitchen. What? They did not touch the kitchen. Just every other room got cleaned.
That makes no sense.
No, that is very... The theory just went out the window. I thought maybe somebody hired a cleaning person.
That's what I thought. A good friend who copied
it. They said go break into this house and clean it.
Or it was someone had hired a house cleaner to come, and they just went to the wrong house and cleaned the wrong house. I could see how that could be possible. A few years ago, we were having family pictures taken, it was after, I think.
Were you wearing white shirts and khakis on the beach?
On the beach.
Obviously,
beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
Because his engagement photo was that exact outfit.
I was going to say
it was in an Oprah Network frame for years.
Still, it's on the credenza behind my desk.
It's really beautiful.
It's on Oprah.
As I said, they were family pictures. So what else would we wear, Cameron?
That's right.
We wear family pictures. All matching white shirts. No, but the photographer had come over and she was like, I just had a weird experience down the street. She's like, I punched in your address on my phone wrong, and I showed up to a house with all my camera equipment. It was an older couple there. And she's like, hey, I'm here for the photo shoot. And they just looked at me and were like, okay, come on in. And so I literally set up in their living room. I literally set up in the living room and was like, okay, where's the baby? Because she knew she was going to be taking pictures of the baby. And the people were like, oh, we don't have a baby. and they had just assumed that the other one had for some reason scheduled the photo shoot. And both of them are in the same room. But it's the husband didn't want to let on to the wife, I forgot about this. She must have said this. And the wife was in the same boat. They neither wanted to be the one that said, I didn't remember this. So she said she was there for at least 15 minutes setting up for the photo shoot.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But all I have to say, Annie, this could have been that scenario where the house cleaner just went to the wrong house.
How'd they get in though?
Maybe.
Yeah, how'd they get in, and why didn't they just do the kitchen? Why didn't they finish?
Yeah,
Why did they only do toilet paper roses
and nothing was missing?
Clean the bedrooms. Nothing was missing. But he's changed his locks and he says he still opens the cabinet slowly in case they left anything behind, which I'm like, what do you think they did? Put cats in all your cabinets and you're going to open them and they're going to jump out?
Yeah.
But yeah, they just did. I think the toilet paper roses are chilling and then the uncleaned kitchen is terrifying.
Because that's where you start. Like if you're going to clean your own house for people to come over, you're going to start there and just make sure that last night's spinach, whatever, isn't on the floor. You're going to do all the normal stuff.
That's right.
Maybe he came home in the middle of them cleaning and they had to abort and go out the back door or something.
Oh no, that's interesting.
Maybe.
Yeah. Chandler, that's as good a theory as we've heard.
Chandler.
Yeah.
But still, how'd they get in?
And here's the thing, like, I know breaking and entering is a crime, but if like they caught this person, would that be the only charge? Because they didn't steal anything. I mean, I don't think it's a crime to clean somebody's home.
That he can find. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's bizarre.
It's like I think it's a random act of kindness. Like a friend did this, somehow got a copy of the key, did it as a funny prank, but also an act of kindness. But the unclean kitchen is what's baffling to me. I can't figure that out.
Yeah.
Like, is it just a bad cleaning service, or
did they intentionally? They cleaned the kids' room. That's the weird thing. Is like that's a room that you're like, well, if they had skipped the 12-year-old boy's room, okay.
There's something unsettling about this because no random act of kindness starts with a home invasion.
We're gonna take the time to do the rose petals and the toilet paper roll, but not take the time to wipe down the kitchen. That's the weirdest part.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a rush cleaning. You know what I mean? Because they took the time.
They took time to make the roses. They just did not touch the kitchen.
A lot of this hinges on those roses, and that's why I find them so
He kept
unsettling.
them. He kept them as souvenirs. He kept all the toilet paper roses.
I have cleaners who come and they like to do the roses, and I ask them to stop because it's just weird. I don't like.
You don't like the roses?
No.
I've never gotten
roses. They do a little triangle.
I get the triangle.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Huh. Anyway, well, there you go. Baffling.
Really here to bring you the good news, everybody.
Annie, I feel like this is your true crime beat. I feel like you need to go down the rabbit hole and figure this one out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like you really need to invest some serious time in this. Obviously, this is going to need to take precedent over everything else you have going on.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I should probably, let me just get my assistant to clear my day and we'll just dig hard into this.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Well, that'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, Louie Giglio joins us. You're listening to, the song is Sunlight. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Yesayer with the song Ecstatic Baby. Well, today's show is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a landing page, a beautiful gallery, a professional blog, or an online store, it's all included with your Squarespace website. Creating a site with Squarespace is a simple, intuitive process. You can add and arrange your content and features with a click of a mouse. You can even design a best-in-class online store with Squarespace's award-winning templates, customizable settings, and more, all without a single plugin. Including all the tools you need to track inventory, process orders, and send custom emails in one intuitive interface, Squarespace Commerce allows you to understand every aspect of your business. Right now, Squarespace is offering Relevant Podcast listeners a special deal. You can go to squarespace.com/relevant for a free trial. When you're ready to launch your site, use the offer code RELEVANT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. I've used Squarespace for years. You'll like it. Louie Giglio is the pastor of Passion City Church in Atlanta and author of the new book, Not Forsaken, Finding Freedom as the Sons and Daughters of a Perfect Father. We recently spoke with Louie about the book and how framing our primary view of God as a loving father can change our outlook on life, faith, and our personal callings. Jesse, you talked to him.
Yeah, I was really interested in his approach to this book because as we were kind of talking, he's, as he kind of put it into context, everyone has a father. Everyone has someone in their life that, when they think about what it means to have a father, they have an individual connected to that. But, kind of how he wanted to position this book is it's so important to have a correct view of God as a father because it really frames your entire faith. And here's how he put it.
Yeah, well, the main idea, behind the book is that we can know God as a perfect father. And I've been sharing that message, I want to say, for 30 years. It really impacted me when I was a college student. One of my mentors was sort of channeling A.W. Tozer, and Tozer's the one who said, what comes into our minds when we think about God is the most important thing about us. And he went on to say why. In the same quote, he said, we tend, by secret law of the soul, to move toward our mental image of God. And that rocked my world because I knew all these attributes about God, but I didn't really quite know how to put my arms around things like everlasting and sovereign and just. And once I realized that Jesus was helping me see and helping us see that God is a father who embodies all these characteristics and attributes, then I realized, okay, this is a God I can know. And I can know him intimately. So it's not just like a person I can know, but I can know him like a son or a daughter knows a father. So I've been on that journey personally for a long time, and it really has revolutionized my relationship with God. And I've been preaching that message for decades now, and then understanding that when, you preach that message, in a fatherless generation or where there's a lot of broken images of fatherhood in the generation, then you have to address that because for a lot of people, they've told me directly, literally word for word, hey, thanks for sharing all that, but if God is a father and if he's anything like my dad, I'm out. And so this book sort of stands in between, helping us all see God the way he wants us to see him, relate to him the way he wants us to relate to him, but then to try to help repair and restore what might be broken in our earthly father relationship so that we can move forward in a new kind of relationship with God.
I thought those were the really powerful thoughts, especially, the idea of what we think about God is, one of the most important things about us. It raises the stakes of even a book like this, that once, that its ultimate desire is to allow people to see God in a context that is reflective of who he really is and not predicated on our own story, that God is consistent and he is love and he is forgiving and he is grace. And not only is the outcome, help reframe our relationship with God and kind of our own motivations, but it can also help us have a proper understanding of relationships in our own lives, including relationships with our own fathers and people in our lives. And here's what Louie had to say about that.
This is a big issue for all of us. Can I trust anyone after what my dad did to me? And I think that, in this book, time and time again, I tried to lead all of us to the cross because that's the place where a few things are certain. The fact that God loves us, it's certain at the cross. The fact that God doesn't ask us to sweep anything under the rug from our relationships with our fathers is certain. God didn't sweep anything under the rug at the cross. The fact that he's trustworthy, that we can depend on him, that's stamped in stone at the cross. And so I try to lead people there and help them see and build a confidence in this God who's already given everything he has for them so that he could call them sons and daughters, and build up from that, help people reframe their identity. And once people reframe their identity, to try to take them the next step down the road, Jesse, and that's to see, okay, if I am a loved son or a loved daughter, if I have a new family tree and a new power source and a new relationship with God, then how can I tap into that to go back and be a revolutionary agent in the affairs of my life?
I think one of the things that struck me about this conversation is how the repercussions of having a right view of God won't only transform your own life, but can really help transform the lives of people around you, because, you start to treat them differently. And And you know, it shows why understanding God as, you know, someone who is loving and does show grace can really help us live those things to other people when we understand it correctly. And, you know, one of the things he kind of talks about in the interview and in the book is how ultimately it kind of, you know, this framing of God as this loving, caring father can ultimately help us kind of rewrite our own stories. And here's how Louie explained that.
Man, if I could just sit with, you know, and I know this is a tough journey for a lot of people, and I empathize with people who don't even want to go there. But if I could just sit with them and say, listen, you are not a victim to divorce or dysfunction or abandon or whatever label has been put on you. You are a revolutionary agent in the power of God, and you are a part of a victory story and not just a part of a victim story. And I believe this is what the enemy is, you know, holding people down with, is the past. And God is just beckoning all of us to step with him into the future.
The other thing that I talked about with Louie as it pertains to the idea of God as a father is, you know, I wanted to get his thoughts on the story of the prodigal son, because I feel like when a lot of people think about God the Father, you know, one of the things they think about is the illustration that Jesus gave in that parable. And Louie had a really interesting observation about the Father in that story that I think really showcases the nature and character of God, and why that parable is such a powerful metaphor to show us who God is. And here's what he said about that.
Man, I can't think of a more poignant and clarifying moment for him to show us the Father. I mean, this Father is right in his indignation. He would be just in his punishment at any level, but yet he runs. You know, this just blew the minds of his listeners when he painted a picture of this dignified father running down the road and embracing his son and kissing him and looking past the muck and the failure and the embarrassment, and then clarifying for us the gospel, which I think is the power of this story, that the gospel is not about being good or bad. It's about being dead or alive. And he says this time and time again. My son was dead, but he's alive again. And he was talking contextually, obviously, that, you know, he was dead to me the moment he told me, I wish you would die and give me the money. But that's the parallel of the whole gospel, going from death to life. And so I think everything we need to know about God is in this story.
Yeah, it's such interesting thoughts. Eddie, I was kind of watching your face. What did you think, kind of, especially that last point of seeing God as this God who like pursues his lost children?
Well, I mean, that is that's the difficulty. I thought I just started thinking about my own, like, yeah, I felt that, and I felt pursued, and sometimes I felt like God is very distant. And when he said in that first point about you're filtering God through the lens of what you know as a father, or, you know, having been fathered, like all of that starts to come into, I mean, it was just making me think about, like, that's right. That's the difficult balance of how do we really perceive the truth of God, and how are we running all that through our own stuff? So that's just what I was thinking about as I was listening to it.
Yeah. You know, I do think that there is that point that he made at the end, that God doesn't see us as good or bad. He sees us as dead or alive. You know, his children are either alive or they're dead, and he wants us to experience life. And you know, that's ultimately what that, you know, the gospel is all about. But it's an awesome book. Obviously, Louie is, like we're talking about.
It's a great book. I've read a bunch of it. It is really good.
Yeah, he's a great teacher. You know, like as good of a writer and communicator as he is, which he obviously is. He's got a massive following, but he's a great Bible teacher too. Yeah. So the book's called Not Forsaken, and I definitely encourage people to check it out.
There you go. All right, that was Louie Giglio. Stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback and a little bit of Ask the Cast. Hey, thanks for listening to this week's episode. Hey, make sure to check out everything else we're doing at Relevant. Every day, every weekday, we're bringing you the latest at the intersection of faith and culture with our new 10-minute podcast called Relevant Daily. You can get that wherever you get your podcasts. We have our long-form interview podcast, Unedited with Cameron Strang, featuring fascinating guests. Also, every day on the relevantmagazine.com, we're covering the latest that you don't want to miss. And follow us on social media. We're on Twitter at Relevant. We're on Instagram, Facebook, all the platforms. Make sure to stay connected with everything we're doing here at Relevant. You're listening to Claro. The song is Bags. Okay, it's time for your feedback. Well, last week, we asked you who you would cast in a biopic about a notable Christian figure. The news had come out that they're doing a Jim and Tammy Faye Bakker movie. I don't know if you guys saw it. Jesse, did you see that they've announced that Elton John is part of a Tammy Faye Bakker musical that's in development right now?
Really?
No. Elton John is involved in it?
Yeah, Jay Bakker, the son of Jim and Tammy Faye, put on Instagram this weekend, well, it's an interesting time, and he put a clip of, or the, screenshot of the news about the movie and the musical that are both in development right now. So we got thinking about what other notable Christian figures deserve a biopic, who you would choose and who you would cast. You guys hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and you posted on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. Here's a few of our favorites.
I like this suggestion from Carter because these two actors have already, had a kind of weird crossover in the Left Behind series, but a Kirk Cameron biopic starring Nicolas Cage as Kirk Cameron. Who's not watching that? Literally, I mean, it checks a lot of boxes. Kirk Cameron fans are watching, and just like the weird Nicolas Cage fans are watching. I think this is a win-win. I would totally see that movie.
Joel said, how about a satire about Joel Osteen starring Ben Stiller?
I think it'd be so interesting to see Ben Stiller be Joel Osteen.
It's good casting. My question would be, I think the plot line would have to be kind of fictional because, I don't know that there's the compelling drama. You know what I mean? It would probably be a fictional kind of motif.
I don't even know if it needs to be satire. I would see an actual biopic of Joel Osteen, starring Ben Stiller. I would want to see Ben Stiller. You know how there's a lot of these comedians who do Jim Carrey, who do that dramatic role, and you're like, wow, Jim Carrey can really act. This is Ben Stiller's opportunity to do a real dramatic role. And I feel like Joel Osteen, I don't really know much about his biography, but I feel like it's got to be kind of interesting.
I liked Ryan's where he says that Jeff Daniels plays the earnest, gospel-loving pastor Jonathan Falwell, and Vince Vaughn plays his brother, Jerry Jr., in a Scott's Tots Cringe Fest about their family vacation in Mexico.
Ryan had a bunch.
Ryan was really in a zone.
I feel he's got a real gift for this.
Yeah, he was in it.
Yeah, he said another one Ryan said was Christian Bale reprises his Vice prosthetics to play James Dobson in a House of Cards style drama called Baby Christian about the machinations of the religious right prior to the 2016 elections.
I mean, Ryan is just, he's in the Matrix.
I was going to say, that's a legit Netflix series. Okay, I'm seeing that, that totally works.
Yeah. Well, there's a bunch more where those came from. You should check them out.
Mostly Ryan's.
Mostly Ryan's. On the Twitter feed.
Like I said, Bryce got a real gift for this. Yeah.
Okay. So every once in a while, we flip it up a bit and we do an Ask the Cast. Well, last week we tweeted out, if you had any questions for the cast, hit us up. And you guys did not disappoint. There were a million questions that came in. Here are a few. I'll lob them to the team.
Okay, ready.
Okay, so Tate asked, I've worked for a Christian camp for the last 5 years. That seems like a long time to work for a Christian camp. Next Thursday is my last day.
Oh, wow.
How do you guys think I should go out?
Oh, wow.
That gate that you haven't gone out for the last 5 years, go out that one. That's how you go out, buddy.
Listen, burn every bridge. And I mean, literally. I mean,
and Jesse, I'm with you. Yeah.
I mean, listen, you've worked there for 5 years. You've done what you've needed to do there. Clearly,
Yeah.
the time has come to go down in a blaze of glory. And I think what he needs to do is assert his authority. He needs to go Lord of the Flies on this situation. Just assert your authority over the entire camp. Just raise up an army of campers to take over that place. Eddie, I feel like you're kind of on the same page with me here.
Oh yeah, I think it's a slow walk around the camp on your last day. You've got your big backpack on with all of your stuff.
Yeah.
You just walk into the cook. You haven't made a meal that I've liked in 5 years, and then walk out. You walk up, to the person that's in charge of the waterfront. You are absolutely terrible at your job, and everybody thinks you're terrible at it. Yeah. And then you just walk away. I would burn bridges hard.
I would go to the person that's leading worship every night at this camp and go, "You rock very softly. How does that feel? How does that feel?" No, I feel like Ernest
a tuner.
Yeah, I feel like Ernest Goes to Camp in my takeover. Like I'm parachuting in snapping turtles that are gonna, bite all the other counselors. Just full on takeover. That's what you need to do, Tate. If you don't own this camp after 5 years of working there, then it needs to be a hostile takeover. Do what you need to do.
Ben asked, "What was your favorite childhood memory? What made it so memorable?"
Oh, wow.
Quitting this camp I worked at for 5 years. Just burning bridges.
Oh, yeah, some freedom.
The satisfaction when I told that worship leader just how soft he rocked us. Oh, I think about it every night before I go to sleep. Just a really fun memory. Annie,
I feel like it was you and I having this conversation, but there's a teacher, a pastor who talks about our favorite memories from childhood are us having these moments of Eden, and we spend our lives looking for that again. And so your favorite moment from childhood is actually really important, you guys, as much as you joke around, because it reminds you something about God that you haven't found anywhere else. But my answer is I used to love my grandmother. We had like grapevines at our house, and picking the grapes with my grandmother. It used to be like one of my very favorite things in the summer. Would be go out and pick the muscadine grapes. So that's my answer.
Mine is similar. I mean, I think I went to the Grand Canyon as a kid, and that was really moving. I feel like that was the first time I ever had like an experience that there might be something other than myself in the world. But I also think just like swimming in my grandma's pool, and she would make lemonade and hang out at her pool, were just the sweetest moments ever. So that's why I always, this time of year, even though Florida is wretchedly hot, hanging out by the pool all day just feels right. Like I should be doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember one time it was like around Christmas, and this one like just means a lot to me when I think back. Is my parents?
I'm not even listening.
We're all gonna go to
I'm not even. It's just I've known this guy for too long.
And I got in a big beef with my cousin Biff about some pizza the night before. It's a whole thing.
Sure.
And anyway, long story short, they ended up leaving me behind, and I set so many booby traps to see those robbers get hit with paint cans. It was just a great time in my childhood.
Right.
Really well positioned booby traps.
Rachel asked, "What words of wisdom do you wish your younger self had?"
I would say not everything matters as much as you think it does. I was like, everything was way bigger deal when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Or a young man, or a couple months ago.
I do notice that as life goes on, the things that are crises when you're younger are just eye roll worthy as you get older and you've dealt with actual important things.
Yeah. Especially, does anyone feel bamboozled by grades? Just like the whole idea of, hey, you got to keep your grades up. Guess what? No one cares what your grades were in college. I don't even know if there's a way to check that. Like, I don't know if after you graduate college, if your employer can go and check your GPA. I honestly don't know the answer to that question. But from my experience,
tell you, as somebody who has received hundreds and hundreds of applications every year from people looking for employment, they will list their education. I don't care what your GPA is. The fact that you have a degree, it's like, okay, it's more about your portfolio of work that you have done since then. I don't care prior to graduation what you did.
Grades are one thing
doesn't matter.
0.
High school doesn't even really matter, especially if you go to Christian college. A lot of those Christian colleges, listen, there's some really prestigious ones, but
be
a lot
careful.
of them,
they're a big sponsor here. Those Christian colleges are quite the sponsor.
I'm
here.
talking about ones that don't allow children to dance, and those are
children.
Those are the ones who are lining our pockets, Annie. So
according to Dan Hasseltine,
no, but it's like a lot of colleges you're going to get into. Like if you did reasonably well in high school, I feel like. Parents are always stressing their kids over making good grades, whether in high school or in college. But from my experience, it really didn't matter that much. I probably wish I would have known that, and I wouldn't have.
I'm sure certain degrees like law, medicine, whatever, your class ranking matters. That'll affect what kind of post-graduation opportunities open to you because the cream of the crop firms are looking for the cream of the crop students. I'm sure that stuff matters. But general undergrad... like for us in the creative field, I mean, it's like, it really is about your portfolio. Are you a talented creative or are you a good writer and different things? Your degree just is like your point of entry. But then what did you do after that is what we're looking at.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
I guess different trades are different.
Annie, do you have an answer for that one? What you wish you knew?
No, I think you guys kind of covered it. I think you covered it.
I bet you wish you had told yourself about that hair thing earlier. That's the wand that you use.
Apparently, y'all wish I'd have told myself that's a hair thing earlier, which 3 men having a big vote on hair makes me want to keep doing my hair like this.
I wish I had known that it wasn't necessary to wash your legs when I was young, because, I mean, if I add up all the time I've spent washing my legs in my life, I mean, that's like 3 weeks of extra time I would have that are just flushed away from my youth. So...
Susan asked, what's your best travel tip for 15-hour flights? Best travel tip for 15-hour flight.
Bring your own water bottle and fill it up before you get on the plane.
Oh.
Why?
Well, you get dehydrated.
Because then you don't have to ask for water as much.
Oh, yeah.
And you need to stay. The trick to surviving that long of a flight is staying hydrated the whole time. And so you need to drink a lot while you're on a plane.
Hey, Annie, this is a 15-hour flight, not a 15-day trek through the Amazon. Like the trick to making it through.
I didn't say it
Jesse hasn't had water since aught4. He doesn't believe in it.
Water? Yeah. I thought we do complimentary Sprite in here. I'll just get another one of those. Yeah.
Okay, now y'all with your fancy tips, Mr. 15 hours.
I mean, honestly, have like one of those little batteries that you can plug your phone into, because there's nothing worse on one of those flights where you're watching 30 Rock reruns and realize you're at like 10% and you still have 11 hours.
That's why I fly Delta.
Phone. Yeah.
I download a full complement of entertainment on your own device, because you can never trust the Wi-Fi or the movies in those planes.
And if that doesn't work, strike up a conversation with your neighbor, and it'll make that 15 hours just fly right by.
That would take a 15-hour flight and make it into a 90-hour flight.
Yeah, that's right.
Last one. Tate asked, what's your proudest moment? Also, what's your most embarrassing or least proud moment?
Gosh, I loved the Sunday morning at my church here at Cross Point, where I got to introduce our new pastor to the congregation. Like I was teaching that Sunday and brought him out for the first time. I'm not sure I'm not sure I'm proud of that as much as when I think back on my life, that will be one of the most important things I ever got to do.
Yeah. One of my more embarrassing one was actually that same weekend, that Christmas I was telling you guys about. And I had assumed this guy who lived down the street, who appeared to be homeless, was a weird, scary guy, but he turned out to be a hero all along. And I was very embarrassed when he came to my rescue and smacked the robbers with that snow shovel. I was just humiliated, but I learned a good lesson today.
You're so weird.
Why do I ever tell the truth?
I know. You got to just wait, because you never know what direction it's going to go.
Yeah, I'm yet to have a proud moment.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not vocational. There are things that I've been proud of vocationally, but those aren't the things I'm most proud of. I mean, I think
that's right. I feel the same way.
It's more of like a generalized. Like I have a really good relationship with my children and wife. I feel very proud of that, but I don't know if there's like a moment in that.
Yeah, it's a tough one, Tate. You stumped us.
Yeah, apparently.
Good job, Tate. You brought the podcast to a halt.
Yeet.
Thanks a lot. Two good questions.
Last question. Okay, Thanos says, how is Jesse not a professional athlete? Ask the cast.
Thanos said that?
Yeah.
Who's to say he isn't?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot we don't know about this man.
I mean, as far as you know, Thanos, I'm not a professional athlete. It could have gone either way numerous times, but Yeah, I mean, I wake up every day and ask myself that question: how am I not a professional athlete? It's baffling and very troubling to me too, Thanos. So I don't know if that helps. But
all right, that's it for Ask the Cast. It's time for this week's
editorial question of the week. Hey.
Okay, earlier in the show, we told you about our breaking coverage of the CCM Supergroup. Do they have a name, by the way?
yeah, it's very original. It's called the CCM All-Star Review.
My God.
It is not. It is not.
That's what it is. The CCM All-Star Review. That's the name of it.
It is not.
Yeah.
I gotta
That's
tell
all
you,
they could come up with.
behind the scenes, we had to cut Jesse's first answer because it's so inflammatory. The fact that the second
The
real
fact
answer
that
is
this
just
is the
as
nicer answer.
yeah.
That's all they could come up with, you know? But,
Well, if they're calling themselves the CCM All-Star Review, they got to settle
In
down.
light of that news, we were thinking about other CCM supergroups that should form. So we want to know your suggestions. So hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, or you can post on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com and answer the question: what would be your CCM supergroup that you'd like to see form? There
and
you
give
go.
them a good name, not CCM All-Star.
Yeah. So
Something
members, genre, and the name of the group.
This will be so fun. I can't wait to see these answers.
Members, name of the group, and then how softly they rock. Just let us know those.
On
and we'll
a
have
scale of
pretty good-
1 to 10.
Yeah.
How softly. they
Which
rock.
way is the right answer? Do you want to be closer to the 1? Is that softer?
I mean, that's a matter of opinion, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it doesn't
one-
need to be a matter of opinion because
Wait,
people are
one
about to
would-
give us scores.
1 would be the least amount of rock, the most soft.
It's
10
very
would
soft.
be the most rock, the least soft, right?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Like the far end of the spectrum is.
It's like Michael McDonald.
No, the far end of the rock is flood that's about as hard as you can rock softly, right?
No. Yeah. Well, no. I mean, but what about like Striper and all that? Or
Yeah,
what
Striper
about
Is it
like
one of the guys in Whiteheart?
Flood's a
Whitesnate?
5, right in the middle.
Flood's a solid
fair
5.
Enough,
That's right.
Fair enough.
That's right.
Okay.
'Cause you have-
Flood is the midway.
Flood's
point.
a 5 and what's a 1? Give us a good spectrum.
Sandy Patty.
Yeah. As the deer, you know, something like that.
As the deer. 1 is as the deer.
As the deer.
Okay. 1 is as the
5 is
deer.
flood.
5 is flood. 10 is to hell with the devil by Striper.
There we go.
Okay.
My gosh.
Okay, great.
Garno and Keys coming in a solid 6.
I would put the song Jesus Freak about a 7.5.
Fair.
So, wow,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Only a 7.5.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
Wow.
because it's like kind of fake hard rock.
Well, 'cause when you
it's
do that much
DC Talk
harmony-
doing a hard rock impression.
That's right.
yeah, when
That's
you
right.
do that
put-
much harmony in a song, it's not that hard.
Where would you put ska, like the supertones and stuff?
Gosh, I really liked them.
About a 6. I would put
Yeah,
them just above
I'm with
flood.
you.
I would put
Okay.
them just above flood. I mean, because it's hard to rock very hard with horns. Like that's
Yeah.
a pretty like if you have
Yeah.
a brass section, you're only rocking so hard. We're gonna cap you at about
Oh
a
my
6.
gosh.
You know,
Okay,
5
okay.
iron supertones. We'll put you about a
I
6.
put Dakota Motor Company, I think, would be a nice 7, if anybody remembers.
No. They're more like a 4. If you're going
right.
7, we're more in like we're getting to like POD territory.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
No.
wow.
POD is like an 8 or a 9, dude.
Yeah, that's true. If Jesus Freak is the 7, then POD has
Yeah.
to be the 8. But
Oh,
Dakota
oh,
Motor
my
Company,
former
Dakota Motor
favorite-
Company is like a 4, though.
Early Switchfoot is 6, 7 then.
Yeah, there we go.
Your pop sensibilities hold it right in the flood range, right? At
Yeah,
a
that's
5,
true.
I think.
That's true. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
This is a great question of the week.
Explain your number when you do this, because this is a very nuanced question. Yeah.
Very nuanced. So your CCM supergroup would include what people, what would they be called, and where are they on the 1 to 10 soft to rock spectrum?
Remember, the spectrum is to hell with the devil and as the deer. So tell us where they fall in there.
Wow.
All right. Well, many thanks to Louie Giglio for joining us. His new book, Not Forsaken, is out now. You can also follow him on Twitter at Louie Giglio. Also, thanks to Squarespace for making the episode possible. Remember, go to squarespace.com/relevant for a free trial. And when you are ready to launch your website, use the offer code RELEVANT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Well, on that note, we'll wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Chandler String.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Eddie Koffoltz.
I'm Annie F. Downs.
We will see you on Friday. Have a great week, everyone.
But if I can swim after 40 days and my mind is crushed by the crashing waves that be up so high that I cannot
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
Downpour on my soul, splashing in the ocean, I'm losing control. Dark sky all around, can't feel my feet touching the ground. But if I can't swim after 40 days in my mind.
You rock very softly. How does that feel?
Relevant Podcast Network.